Hey, it's H here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for S&P 500 or the SPX, SPY, whichever you want to be having. Now we're starting the counts today again from very high time frame and looking at the whole scenario that we've had since the beginning of 1871 when we started to get any kind of data here. So the higher time frame main that we've gone through is following, where we have this as a 1 2, then again a 1 2 3 4 5 into the third of super cycle, 4 super cycle, and then now we are in the middle of that fifth of super cycle, creating a wave 1 of grand super cycle. Again, if we are now zooming in into this last leg that we have had, this is what we basically got. Here's the wave 4 of super cycle, having this as a 1 2, having some kind of expanded or running flat in here, a third with a very rare expanding triangle, A B C D E. It is also possible to have this as a 1 2 and then 3 4 and 5, where this third would be up in here, and then we would have a very straight down zigzag coming down, giving us alterations again the wave 2 here. So it does not really matter how you're going to be placing the third here at this point. The point is that wave 4 is in here, and then then onwards we would be getting that fifth. Now it is debatable whether this is actually a wave 1 of primary or whether it is actually the fifth of cycle. Now if we are comparing this first here to the fifth, we can see that this is already larger, so it could be that this fifth would be in, but with the higher time frame expectations that we have here on S&P 500, this would already bring us to the end of the cycles, and that is definitely a very scary thought, as we would be correcting the whole structure started from the 1870s. So again, that would be very, very scary. We have some kind of retracement levels here. If you are daring to look at, or if you dare to look at them, golden pocket would be around 1830 or 1840. Definitely a lot of retracements to go down to. So for that one, another 50%. And again, we are talking about S&P 500, so that is basically a very, very scary crash, and the economy of the whole world would be collapsing basically. Now, the other scenario, of course, is a bit more bullish, in which this was that primary 1 that I just mentioned, and we would be creating this primary 2. Of course, when can we know the difference is if we are going to be taking out the lows here around $2,200 or not. And again, it is going to be making more sense if we are taking out the highs of primary 1, and then again we can be looking at the higher time frame projections, whether this is going to be going higher or not. But that is basically the higher time frame main scenario that I am actually looking at. Of course, I'm not trading by this. This is just the higher time frame views that I have, just to give me some kind of a confluence where the direction of overall trends might be going. Now let's take a look at the futures chart, so we can actually understand where we are at. So this had the potential of being that wave 1, and until we are basically beyond the golden pocket here around $3,200, I'm still leaning more towards that this is a bullish structure as a wave 1 instead of wave 5. And that is my bias. So what we were looking at before on smaller time frames, let's start with the 4-hour time frame and have these brought out. Let's see, let's bring out the WXY count. So this was the main idea here. Again, this would be the wave 1 top, and here we would have 3 ways into W, 3 ways into X, and then 3 ways to wave Y. We had the possibility of having this as a connector wave for this structure already, and connecting this structure to the next structure downwards is a very potential thing, or very potential count. The other one is that instead of that, we would have this as a third wave, the first wave of this 3-way sequence, where we have this as a W, X and Y, or ABC, as it definitely fits here because we took out the highs, or sorry, the lows here. So let me just, we can actually fix that here. So this would be the overall more of an expectation. So here we would be getting a very nice looking pump, and potentially getting back to the golden pocket here. Generally in these expanded structures, we would be getting beyond the A wave, and that is very typical, and that would be very good for the market. 20% pump here on S&P 500 would most likely get the Bitcoin back to 30Ks, even higher possibly. And at that point again, we could be cashing out some of the long positions that we had, as I don't think this is enough of time and retracement for this whole structure to be corrected. Again, the expectation is that this is just a smaller correction, or a stop where we are, is like a partial low, local low to say, not the final low before we are heading up higher again. But yeah, that is the medium time frame expectation at the moment. So let's check out the main structures inside this last leg. So keep in mind that again, we had this as a three-way structure over here. Now we're looking for this B wave as the main scenario. There are other possibilities in here where we had, for example, this as a five-way structure coming down. At that point, we would be considering this to be a three-way structure finished, and then we would be looking for to get a partner leg for this one. If this indeed is going to be a five-way structure that I show you next, this is going to be an A wave instead. Then we are looking for B wave, and then another five-way structure creating this ABC downwards. Okay, so those are the expectations here on a bit higher time frame. So let's zoom in a bit and take a look at that impulsive count first. And again, here we would already be completing this five-way structure. Now, what we had thought about this is just because the internal wave structures, it is not that likely to me. Also, the extensions do not favor this count either. For example, the third wave here, it does not get to the 1.618, so it is not that bearish to me. Could this be a 1-2-1-2 setups? Of course it could, but again, what goes against that is that this structure over here is actually larger than this one. In 1-2-1-2 setups, it is generally thought that that this first structure over here, because it is a higher degree, it should be larger than the smaller degree here, and that is not the case here. So that is another thing that, or the reason why I don't really like that. Now, in this scenario, again, wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 would be finished. I do think that this structure over here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 looks way better than on the other WXYXZ count, because again, this is just way better looking. I'm not denying that at all. We do have that divergence between the third of third and the fifth here, so that would make sense having this as a five-way structure. Now, let's take a look at the other one before looking into this very small time frame and from the lows. Now, this one we had, again, as I mentioned, the WXYXZ count, and this fits way better on the substructures: 3 waves, 3 waves, 3 waves, 3 waves, and then, well, this last leg is not that clean. We're looking at 30 minutes. We can be seeing, we could be labeling this as 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 into an A wave, then 3 wave pullback into B, and then C wave downwards, getting to that 0.618 extension of this A wave for that C wave. Just based on that, it is not that good looking as the other one, just because we did not get to the 1-to-1 extension that we would want to see. Now, we did get this massive pump from the lows with the CPI data, and we did indeed take out the previous lows and get a massive bounce from there on out. Now let's take a look at this very much of a lower structure here, in which again we could be having this as a 5-way structure already finished. Now this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the way I've labeled it. Third of third in RSI having the highest divergence, or highest RSI would make sense, highest momentum, and then we would be falling off with that. We have not taken out the lows here yet, so it could be making sense that we are still within this whole sequence upwards. Now, if it is indeed going to be a 5-way structure, we are expecting this to be either an end of something or a start of something new. Now, for those, I have 2 different ideas overall that I haven't shared before, because I hadn't seen those before at all. In this one, again, 5 ways from the lows as a start of something is very clear, or can be seen as very clear. We do have that divergence between third and the third or fifth here, making sense, and the divergence at this highs giving us the end divergence here, and then expanded structure coming down. Now, the issue with this is the extension we're getting for the C wave. This is very, very extended. Now, the B wave here of that expanded flat, we would be getting right into the expanded B pocket, which would be around the 1.236 to the 1.382 retracement of this A wave, then having 3 wave back to that wave B, and then looking for a 5-way structure coming down for that C. Now, the 2.618 is again the maximum we want to be seen for the C wave, so if this is going to be blown through, then we need to be looking into a different structure here. At the moment, I don't have anything else prepared for this, so this is the only structure I am looking at the moment. Of course, we could be having some kind of a wave 4 like this, possibly still having the third here and then fifth, but again, if we are comparing this wave 2 here to that massive wave 4, it would not make any sense to me. I truly hope that we are going to keep this just for the sake of the structure. Even if I wouldn't be trading, I don't want to see this this gone below these levels that we have at the moment. But if we are zooming in a bit closer, even more so to the 1 minute time frame and looking for that fifth, we could be labeling this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5. Now, this is very ugly diagonal here into the end. I'm not really sure if I should be even labeling it like this. We could be we definitely have some kind of trend lines here that are respected. So maybe this is actually done here at these very lows, tagging that 2.618, which is again the maximum we want to see, and then we would be getting higher and higher. The invalidation, if you want to go long, is definitely at the lows here. If you want to be bullish here, or we could be, of course, not have this as the wave 2 if this was a wave 1. We could be creating a larger structure where we would have something like this coming down in a larger corrective pattern of a WXY, or even just do this and then another dump down, creating an ABC expanded structure. We did not hit the golden pocket here, so again we are still remaining bullish. However, if we are breaking through this, then we can start to look into more of the possibilities where this can lead more to the downside and lead more to the more bearish options that we have. Now, as I mentioned, I have a potential for this to be a 5-way structure. Again, I showed you the potential bullish structure that we have off of the lows. We have 2 different counts that are saying that we have a possible end at these lows. But we have to be recognizing the possibility of that this possible 5-way move is actually a end of something. Now, what can it be a part of? This would have to be fit into a 3-wave. We have no other possibility if this is indeed a 5-way here. Now, at that point again, we would have to be saying that, okay, this is an ABC. This definitely felt like 5 waves. So, although this can't be the start of something, because again, we are taking out the lows here, it can't be start of something, so it has to be an end of something. And for that, we would have this structure here. So we would have this as an A wave here, like this 3-way structure B, and then this would be a C wave. And that is, I don't think I've seen any counts having this, but we have to be keeping this in mind when looking at the chart, that this is still a possibility. Although not pretty, but it does hit minimum targets, and even the 1-to-1, I think, yeah, right around the 1-to-1 extension of that A wave we had here. So it is still possible. Now, what would this fit? That is the main question, I feel like. We had the WXYXZ count here, where we were looking at a partner or very similar structure for this X wave here as this structure. But I feel like it could be possible that this structure over here would be still part of this whole thing. Now, the RSI is saying that whatever we had before here is already completed. If we are looking at 30 minutes on 1 hour, we are still having the same idea that this should be done here. And it is possible that this thing here actually ended that WXY count, and instead of being part of anything else, we would have this as a connector leg for some larger connector that would connect this structure over to the next here, or we could be creating some kind of larger correction or connector here to create as this three-wave structure here before continuation with this structure downwards, like so. So there are definitely a lot of possibilities if we are thinking that this could be a separate structure here. I'm not sure if I want to be creating too many counts around this, because again, there are very many different alternate possibilities here. I definitely am looking to play this very short time frame game here, looking for that long setup possibly from the lows. We'll see. Of course, I'm not going to be awake when the markets open again on Monday, so we'll see if that is going to be happening. That's pump from the current lows during Monday, but those are the expectations I have actually. But yeah, I wouldn't too carefully look into this possible ABC here, unless we get something out of proportion and something unexpected happen. And if we can't fit the current counts of for the current structures here into anything else, then I would be just looking at this only at that point. Because again, this is not the best looking structure. Wave C is very short in time compared to A, and yeah, it just doesn't have the right look. But just wanted to show you that there is, of course, a lot of different possibilities in the market, and maybe you get some kind of idea here where we could be leading next. But again, I feel like my expectations are still to the bullish side until we take out the golden pocket here, until we take out the current lows. And if we do take out the current lows, then we are going to be readjusting the counts and seeing if that is something possible. Also, if there is some possibilities to take trades again. But I feel like that is pretty much everything I want to share on S&P 500 for now. If you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.